Good afternoon, students. Welcome in HCP lecture. Today I will start the new chapter of part 2 Clinical Pharmacy. Chapter is Drug in Clinical Toxicity. Okay. Let us first shortly look at what we saw in previous lecture. Okay. In previous lecture, we have seen the chapter number 8 from part 1, Pharmacy and Therapeutic Committee. In that, these are the medical staff are responsible for the policies and practice of utilization within the hospital. Okay, this is carried out by the medical staff in cooperation with the pharmacist and representatives of other disciplines as required by forming a medical staff committee. This committee is Pharmacy and Therapeutics, that is P&T committee. Okay, then composition of PTC. The Pharmacy and Therapeutic Committee is composed of representatives from all walks of healthcare system. In that, P&T committee shows the physicians, pharmacists, nurses, and administrators. In physicians, again, three part: general medicine, then general surgeon, and anesthetics. Okay, a chairperson is appointed from physician representatives, and a pharmacist works as secretary. Then purpose of PTC, in that educational and advisory. Okay, then agenda of the meeting, in that a typical agenda may consist of the following points, that is minutes of previous meeting and review of hospital formulary section, either addition or deletion of product. Then adverse drug reaction reported in the hospital since the previous meeting and drugs safe in the hospital. Then function and objective of the P&T committee. Okay, then next is PTC and adverse drug reaction. Okay, in that the committee act in the two ways, that is to treat the such patient and to prevent the such happening in the future. A physician concerned with will submit a report for this. A typical format of ADR here as follows, that is adverse drug of reaction report. Okay, then significance, in that drug selection, drug safety, drug adverse drug reaction, and drug product defect reporting program, and development of emergency drug list, and last is drug utilization review, that is DUR. Okay, now today's I will start the new chapter is drug in clinical toxicity. Firstly, learning objective. Students are able to define the corrosive and irritant poisons. Then students are able to answer heavy metal poisoning. Then students are able to classify poisons. Then students are able to explain the barbiturates and narcotic poisoning. Okay. Then concept structure, introduction, then classification of poison, then general treatment of poisoning, insecticides poisoning, then heavy metal poisoning, barbiturate poisoning, and last is narcotic poisoning. Now I will start the first introduction. Poisons are generally used for the suicidal purpose are potassium cyanide, then oxalic acid, then hydrocyanic acid, opium, barbiturates, organophosphorus compounds, and arsenic. Okay, then poisons are used for homicidal purpose are arsenic, antimony, then aconite, organophosphorus compounds, then strychnine and oleander. Okay, then poisons are used for the stupefying purpose are dhatura, belladonna, hyoscyamus, cannabis indica, and cigarettes containing arsenic. Then accidental poisoning commonly occurs at the result of carelessness with the poisoning, and non-poisoning has been reported from the greater use of chemicals in industry and for household purposes. Okay, these are the introductory part of drug in clinical toxicity. First is poisons are generally used for the suicidal purpose. Then poisons are used for homicidal purpose. Then poisons are used for the stupefying purpose. And poisons are generally used for the suicidal purpose. For example, potassium cyanide, oxalic acid, hydrocyanic acid, opium, barbiturates, organophosphorus compounds, and arsenic. In the poison used for the homicidal purpose are arsenic, antimony, aconite, then organophosphorus compounds, then strychnine and oleander. And last is the poison used for the stupefying purpose are, that is dhatura, belladonna, hyoscyamus, cannabis indica, and cigarette containing arsenic. Okay, these are the introductory part. Then classification of poisons. In that, poisons are classified according to their modes of action. Accordingly, poisons are classified into the three main groups, which first is corrosive, then irritant, corrosive, irritants, and neurotics. Okay. In corrosives, a corrosive poison is simply a highly active irritant and not only produce inflammation but also acute ulceration of tissues. For example, strong acid like sulfuric acid, then nitric acid and hydrochloric acid. Then irritants. In irritants poisons produce the symptoms of pain in the abdomen, vomiting and purging. Corrosive in dilute solutions acts as irritants. For example, irritants are, first is inorganic, then organic and mechanical. Okay, now see, the first is inorganic, non-metallic and metallic compounds. Okay, the non-metallic poisons are phosphorus, chlorine, bromine, iodine and boron. The metallic poisons are arsenic, antimony, mercury, silver, iron, then copper, bismuth and leads. Okay, and inorganic, the organic poisons. Then second is the organic. The organic poisons can be divided into the two types. First is vegetable poisons, include the castor oil, then colocynth, ergot, marketing nuts and alloys. Then second is the animal poisons, consist of the cantharides, snakes venom, then scorpions venom and poisons insects. And third is mechanical. In that, this group include the powder glass, then chopped hides, then sponge and diamond dust. And last is the neurotics. In neurotics, these poisons primarily acts on the central nervous system, that is CNS. The chief symptoms of this type of the poisoning include the headache, drowsiness, then giddiness, delirium, then stupor, coma and sometimes paralysis. Okay, these are the classification of poisons. Okay, first is classified into the three main groups. First is corrosive, irritants and third is mechanical. In irritant, again classified into the three part. First is organic, second inorganic and third is mechanical. In the corrosive, first corrosive poisons are simply a highly active irritant and non only produce the inflammation but also acute ulceration of tissue. For example, strong acid like sulfuric acid, then hydrochloric acid and nitric acid. Then irritants poison produce the symptoms of pain in the abdomen, vomiting and purging. Corrosive in the dilute solution acts as a irritants. For example, is the inorganic, non-metallic and metallic compounds. The non-metallic poisons are phosphorus, chlorine, bromine, iodine and boron. The metallic poisons are arsenic, then mercury, silver, iron, antimony, then copper, bismuth and leads. Okay, then organic. The organic poisons can be divided into the two types. First is vegetable poisons, include castor oil, colocynth, then ergot, then alloys and marking nuts. Okay, second is the animal poisons, consist of cantharides, snake venom, then scorpions venom and poisons insects. And third is mechanical. In the mechanical, this group include the powder glass, then sponge and diamond dust and chopped hide. And last type is neurotics. In the neurotics, these poisons primarily acts on the central nervous system. The chief symptoms of this type of poisoning include the coma, then stupor, delirium, giddiness, then headache, drowsiness and sometimes paralysis. Okay, here are over the classification of poison. Okay, the remaining part we will see in next lecture. I will revise the today's part of lecture. Okay, first is introductory part. In introduction, poison are generally used for the suicidal purpose are, for example, potassium cyanide, oxalic acid, etc. Then poisons used for homicidal purpose and poisons used for the stupefying purpose. Then classification of poisons, in that three main categories, three main groups of poison. First is corrosive irritants and third is neurotics. Okay, in irritants, again, for example, in organic and mechanical. Okay, now I will stop here. Thank you. Remaining part we will see in next lecture, that is general treatment of poisoning. Okay, thank you.